Hello, 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 everyone. Today is your friendly neighborhood queer Christian, and today we're going to be talking about the Ten Commandments. Woo! Okay, which I know was some kind of movie, but I never seen it, but I heard it's fabulous. So, anywho, I'm going to get right into it because there's a lot to cover. So today we're going to talk about the first five commandments of the Bible. So the Ten Commandments, first fun fact, was actually not called the Ten Commandments. It was called the 10 Words, right? Like words. That's why many, if you listen to theologians, they will refer to as the Decalogue, right? The 10. Deca for 10, log for words. So, fun fact. So when Moses was on Mount Sinai, when Moses came to Mount Sinai, God called him to the mountain, gave him the inspiration, etched out these 10 commandments for Moses to share with the Israelites who he had just brought out of Egypt. Okay, so the first thing is to know is to explore is that there's a big difference between commandments and 10 words. And the term commandments actually came from Jesus, right? If you love me, you will follow my commandments. So again, that's rooted in how important it is in the sense that these are, whatever God sort of lays out to us, we always have free will. We always are able to choose which way we want to go, right? Everybody love my new glasses? Yeah. We are able to choose which way we want to go. Amen. So the 10 commandments, while that sounds very like, oh, commandments, are really rooted in free will. But if we really explore them, you see that these laws, instead of really oppressing us, really helps us. Because as humans, one of the things that benefits us is boundaries. Boundaries can be difficult, but boundaries can also be healthy. So with these laws to govern you, they sort of guide you. Whether you decide to move with them or not is totally up to you, right? So the first one we'll look at is you will have no gods before me, which of course is the one that everyone goes to, and it's like, see, God is just trying to be punitive. But if you think about it, you worship no one before me. When we worship things, when we as Christians put things before God, does it really benefit us? If you're in a relationship and that person becomes more important to you than you yourself or your relationship with God, does that really foster a healthy, happy relationship? That's, you can decide that on your own. And if we look at the present situation, this pandemic, one of the reasons this pandemic has gone as awry as it has is because places like Florida, Texas, and Georgia put money before their citizens, even though they've taken an oath to protect their citizens, right? So what their idol was, what was more important than their health. And these places, they're supposed to all be, Texas is supposed to be Christian down, right? But they put the need of money before their citizens, and see what happened. So there's something really, as Christians, our faith, what we value, if we are Christians, our guiding principles is Jesus. And it only makes sense. So why would we put anything before that, right? The second is you should have no graven images. Now, one, we know people have already broken that one 1,000 times, right? But if you really think about it, to have no images between heaven and earth allows us as Christians to create our own idea, our own view of who God is, of what heaven looks like, and what the image of Jesus is, right? We have some indicators in the Bible, but there's nothing definitive. And I would argue that in the time, especially in the times of slavery, even post-slavery, even when missionary work, which I have my challenges with missionary work. That's another video. But missionaries going to other countries, you give people a certain image of what the Messiah is supposed to look like, then that becomes definitive. And then they may, right, sort of get in a situation of comparing themselves or their value to that image. But none of us really knows, right? So it actually makes sense. It allows us the freedom to create whatever image we have. Amen? Now, we think of the third is to not take the Lord's name in vain. Again, life and death is in the power of the tongue. Is your name important? If someone said your name and said, because sometimes we have people say, for F Christ's sake, oh, damn, or those sort of things, doesn't that lessen the value of the Lord's name? If you're calling out to the Lord, you don't want to be, the kid who cried wolf, right? You want to know that when you're calling out to the Lord, you understand the amount and the weight of that. So why make that willy-nilly, right? So that again, you can do it, but doesn't that undermine your own prayer game? Doesn't that undermine your own relationship with God? And the fourth is the day of Sabbath. Again, if you're not a Christian, this doesn't mean anything to you. But if you are a Christian, it makes sense. Why would work? Again, if you're working 7 days a week, 24 hours a day, what are you making your idol? What are you worshiping? Are you worshiping God? Are you worshiping the dollar? And we've seen how capitalism has taken these holidays that were fought hard by labor unions and such and undermining them, right? I don't personally celebrate Thanksgiving for political reasons, but I find nothing wrong with it, right? So, but those sort of holidays which have brought families together are now being undermined for what? Worshiping the dollar. So it makes sense. Why would God not? And God is not, you don't have to do anything on the Sabbath, right? It's not in the Bible. In the Bible, you don't have to go to church on the Sabbath, but it's that day for reflection. It's a day that's special. It's a day that acknowledges. And why should there not be a day that we acknowledge our relationship with God and acknowledge ourselves? It's also of our own well-being. So to have this day, why should every day? One of the things about the Rona is that every day becomes the same. Amen. And the fifth, honor thy mother and thy father. This is a very controversial one, right? It came up in prayer chat last week because there are people who have very difficult relationships with their parents. And some people have experienced parents that have done things in a dysfunction that is unbelievable. And that is not to be undermined. That is not to be dismissed. But what I will say this. If you don't honor your mother and your father, and that doesn't mean that you don't hold them accountable. It doesn't mean that you don't acknowledge what happened. It doesn't mean that you even may have, Sunday dinner with them every week or anytime ever. But the honoring of the mother or the father is honoring you, because each time you say that you hate your mother, hate your father, you're saying that you hate yourself in a way. So stay with me, because we are made of our mother and our father, right? So no matter where we are on the binary, no matter who our parents may be, life is created with a womb and a sperm, right? So that womb and that sperm that came together is part of you. So no matter who they are, you have to at least honor that they created that life. And sometimes maybe that's all you can do. But in honoring them, it saves you. Because I will ask you, is there any person that you know that hates their mother or hates their father that is living a healthy, happy life? Just think about it. Just think about it. So again, the walk of the Christian is not an easy walk, but it is a walk where if we can walk through those very difficult things, we can learn some new things about ourselves. Okay, next week we will deal with the next 5 commandments. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope this information was helpful to you. And prayer chat the information will be above or below, and I don't see you. I hope to see you next week. Bye.